Coming to you live from Harmon Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska. It's the top two teams in the Alaskan Baseball League, the Mat-Su Miners and the Peninsula Oilers. The Miners, 21-14, sit at the top. The Oilers, 19-16, 2 games back and 2 games coming up. Miners with a game against the Oilers today on the 18th. They have an off day on the 19th, and then face the Oilers yet again on Friday the 20th. Let's run through the starting lineup for the Peninsula Oilers today. Zach Zaleski lead things off for the Peninsula Oilers out of Oregon State. Batting second, Chad Bible from San Diego State University. Batting third out of Cal State Bakersfield, Ryan Cook. Batting fourth from Murray State University, Grant Wood. Batting fifth, Ryan Ovis out of St. Mary's University. Batting sixth, Evan Berkey from Cal State Bakersfield. Batting seventh, Calvin Ferris from Brown University. And out of the University of Arizona, Bryce Bigel, he bats eighth. Rounding things out at the bottom, out of Murray State University, is Tyler Duke. The Peninsula Oilers are coached by Kyle Brown. Ryan Duran is a pitching coach, and Rolando Sanchez is a hitting coach. General manager of the Peninsula Oilers, Torrey Smith. On the mound for the Mat-Su Miners today, out of Santa Barbara City College, Mr. Ian Churchill. Churchill on the season so far, a perfect 4-0 win-loss record, a 1.47 ERA in 3 games started. Has pitched 24 1/3 of an inning, has 25 strikeouts, 6 walks, and 13 hits. Ian Churchill will look to put the Miners back into the win column as they have lost 2 straight. And over the last 10, 4 wins and 6 losses. So Ian Churchill will be the man on the mound, looking to change things around for the Mat-Su Miners here at Harmon Brothers Field. Brad, it was a heartbreaking loss yesterday, and what can the Miners do today to try to just fight back and get over it?
Well, listening to what Tyler Brunt said last night, he said, watch that game, remember it, and come out with a fire today. And I think that's exactly what the Miners need to do. They've been good at home this year. We mentioned 12-4. The last win came in this park. So they just need to hold down the fort. It's a big game. If they win today, they win the season series. If they lose, they tie the season series with the Oilers for heading into the next game. So just have to play with a fire underneath of them and really come out strong today.
And right now it's time for Mat-Su Miners baseball. Zach Zaleski will lead things off here for the Peninsula Oilers against Ian Churchill and the Mat-Su Miners. Zaleski, 7 hits, 28 at-bats, batting .250 on the season, 2 RBIs, 7 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Ian Churchill pitching from the windup, a long look into his catcher, Walters, and he deals. First pitch swung on and fouled off towards the right side. Rolando Sanchez, first base coach of the Peninsula Oilers, has it and tosses towards the Miners dugout. 0-1, and Brad, you talked about the Miners, their success at home, 12-4 on the season. Different story away, though. 9 wins and 10 losses, 1 game under 500 as the second pitch is looked at for strike called. Ian Churchill is ahead in the count on Zach Zaleski. No balls and 2 strikes and nobody away here in the top of the first inning. Churchill looks in, and he's ready. The pitch swung on him, is strike 3. Churchill does what he does best, getting outs for the Miners and being productive. Zach Zaleski goes down on strikes.
I know it's just the first out, but it is a strikeout. And you noticed after the strikeout, everyone on the Miners defense kind of hopped up in excitement. That could just be the little key to start this game for the Miners and really drive them to a win.
26 strikeouts on the season for Ian Churchill, his first of the day. Yes, now Chad Bible, the designated hitter, stands in. First pitch swinging. He flies this one out into right field. Coming in, originally going back, is Nick Brooks, who makes a one-hand grab. 2 outs. Very quickly for the Miners and Ian Churchill here in the top of the first inning.
It's exactly what you want if you're Ian Churchill. The Miners didn't have a great beginning of the game in the first inning, but right now Ian Churchill looking strong.
Defensive alignment for the Miners. Danny Wright's in left field. Kona Quiggle in center. Nick Brooks out in right. Infield after the pitch into Ryan Cook. Ryan Cook batting .255 as the first pitch misses low for ball 1. Infield for the Mat-Su Miners. Tyler Bassetti's at third base. Drew Swift at shortstop. Caleb Van Blake, the man, at second. And Josh Hatcher making a start at first base as the fastball misses away. 1-2 balls and no strikes. Battery mates Ian Churchill on the mound, Aaron Walters behind the plate. As the 2-0 is on the way, taken high and inside for ball 3. 3 straight balls into Ryan Cook, who just won the 2018 ABL Home Run Derby during the All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, Cook really can bring it out, but hasn't had a home run in a bit.
The 3-0 taken on the outside corner, called strike, 3-1. Ian Churchill only has 6 walks on the season, so a good strikeout to walk ratio. The 3-1 swung on and found straight back. Ryan Cook, a count now into him. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away here in the top of the first inning. As we said, the Mat-Su Miners are at the top. They're followed by the Oilers, Anchorage Bucks, Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks are in the basement. 3-2, the count remains. Churchill from the windup. He deals. Taken on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. The Mat-Su Miners are getting in business here in the top of the first. Their bats are coming to the plate in the bottom of the first. No score after a 1-2-3 inning from Churchill. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio.
Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Hi, I'm Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
That was the voice of second baseman Caleb Van Blake as we are here in the bottom of the first inning. No score between the Peninsula Oilers and the Mat-Su Miners. Leading things off is Van Blake out of UC Davis, batting second, the designated hitter out of Oral Roberts University, Spencer Henson. Batting third from Grand Canyon University, Kona Quiggle. In the 4th spot out of Texas A&M, it's Aaron Walters. From Gonzaga, Nick Brooks, he bats 5th. Batting 6th from Mississippi State, Josh Hatcher. Batting 7th out of Southeast Missouri, Danny Wright. Batting 8th out of Arizona State is Drew Swift. And Tyler Bassetti round things out at the bottom out of the University of Nevada, Reno. They will face the best ERA in the ABL in Mike Lopez. Lopez 3-0 on the season, a 0.54 ERA, 6 games started, 33 1/3 of an innings pitched, 20 strikeouts, couple of walks, and 19 hits. Mat-Su Miners, coached by the manager Ben Taylor, Jeff Orlob, Tyler LeBrun, Orlob the pitching coach, LeBrun assistant coach, general manager Pete Christopher, and the assistant GM Bob Plumley. Let's take a look at the rankings. Miners at 21-14. At the top, Oilers 19-16, 2 games back. The Anchorage Bucks 16-17, 4 games back. The Anchorage Glacier Pilots 15-17, 4.5 back. And the Chinooks at the bottom 14-21 and 7 games back from the Miners. This is a lineup that produced 5 runs yesterday. A little shakeup at the top with Van Blake leading things off instead of Kona Quiggle. But manager Ben Taylor before the game has a lot of confidence in this lineup, and he predicts to see a lot of runs.
Yeah, he does, and I would have to agree with him. I really like the changes that BT made for this lineup. We talked about it in the pregame. Guys who can get on are right in front of guys that have produced major RBI numbers for this Miners 9. Hopefully, it should work out, and if it does, I could definitely see this being a staple starting 9 for the Miners moving forward.
Caleb Van Blake about ready to stand in as he will face Mike Lopez. Van Blake on the season, 18 hits, 57 at-bats as he shoots this one out into left field, racing towards the line. Is the left fielder. That will fall for a base hit. Caleb Van Blake rounding first. He heads for second. It's a leadoff double here in the bottom of the first inning. Miners are in business. Van Blake, his 4th double of the season. A tip of the cap from the Electric Factory, the Miners bullpen out in right field. And now Spencer Henson, who is freshly off a 2-run homer in yesterday's game in the top of the 9th, stands in at the plate.
Yeah, Spencer had an absolutely incredible night last night. And what a way to bounce back from a tough loss last night to get started with a first pitch swinging by Van Blake. He wants to get things going for this Miners team, and that definitely hyped him up.
Van Blake on second base. He led off with a double, and an intentional walk appears to be issued to Spencer Henson. They will much rather face Kona Quiggle with nobody outs and a base empty. Henson takes ball 2. And for Spencer, this would be his 8th walk of the season. And as we said, he is the most dangerous person in the Miners lineup. Spencer, 348, 40 hits, 115 at-bats, 26 RBIs, good for first in the ABL. Has struck out 17 times, but for Spencer, 8 doubles, 1 triple, and 6 home runs. The best bat in the lineup so far is now Kona Quiggle will step to the plate. For Kona Quiggle, his first time batting 3rd in the Miners lineup all season long, as he will have 2 runners on here in the bottom of the 1st inning, no score, and nobody out.
And that's really smart there by the Oilers. Spencer Henson is he's the top RBI man in the ABL. So bring up Kona Quiggle, who doesn't have as many RBIs, but still a very dangerous hitter.
First pitch into Kona is taken outside for ball 1. And I guess some of the reasoning here for the Oilers, there was a base open. You walk Spencer Henson, and then that kind of clogs the base paths a little bit. As 1-0 is swung on a miss by Quiggle. 2-1-1 the count. Spencer, the one thing that he lacks in is speed, although he can get around the bases for a man of his size, but he is not the fleetest of foot. So a double play opportunity for the Oilers with runners on first and second base. The 1-1 into Kona Quiggle misses low and away for ball 2. Kona this season does not, or has not, grounded into a double play. Has been hit by a pitch twice. Bats .285 on the season, 37 hits, and as this one is fouled off towards the left side. 37 hits and 130 at-bats, 14 RBIs, 16 walks, 29 strikeouts, though. On-base percentage of .372. So Kona Quiggle looking to stay hot here in the summer. Mike Lopez is pitching from the stretch with runners on first and second base. Infield double play depth. The 2-2 swung on, ground ball up the middle. That's in for a base hit. BT is rounding Caleb Van Blake around third. He's heading for home and will score. The throw went to second base. The Miners, nobody out here in the bottom of the 1st inning, take a 1-0 lead over the Peninsula Oilers. And Mike Lopez, that ERA is slowly rising yet again.
Yeah, it definitely will. They decided to pitch to Quiggle, and he makes them pay. And I talked about in the pregame, the Miners just had to do enough from the plate, get to Mike Lopez, and really ride your pitching because the Oilers' bats haven't been too good. And the Miners are doing it right there, getting going early. They really needed this boost. The home crowd is loving it. Ian Churchill, has to be thankful of it. And let's see if they can keep things going.
The intentional walk to Spencer Henson bites him in the end as Kona Quiggle with an RBI single. Van Blake came around to score, and now Aaron Walters stands in from the left side. Walters takes the ball outside for ball 1. Aaron on the season, 26 hits, 99 at-bats, .263 batting average, 13 RBIs, 5 walks, and has struck out 17 times. Aaron Walters had a hit in yesterday's game as the 1-0 is swung on and fouled off towards the left side. Miners have a 1-0 lead over the Oilers and Mike Lopez. And Lopez coming into today, the best ERA in the league at 0.54. So they're getting to him early today. Mike Lopez pitching from the stretch, the 1-1. Taking a breaking pitch, good for a called strike, 1-2. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 1st inning. Miners on first and second base. Spencer Henson on second. Kona Quiggle on first. Aaron Walters at the plate. Mike Lopez. And in the count, 1-2. The pitch in. Swung on, ground ball at the middle. Lopez gets a glove on it. He turns to second for one. The throw is offline and not good. Rounding third and heading for home, but he'll be tagged out is Spencer Henson. So on the throw, it got away just a little bit from Zach Zaleski at first base, but he was able to recover and throw to first in time. Spencer was rounding third and was charging all the way, just could not get there in time. A double play here in the bottom of the first inning. Aaron Walters on first base, as he's the only man left on the base paths. Van Blake was out on the 1-6 putouts, and then Spencer was out on the 3-2. First base to home plate. And now Nick Brooks out of Gonzaga University stands in. Brooks hit his first home run yesterday as he swings first pitch, lines it out into right field. That's good for a base hit. Miners are seeing Mike Lopez pretty decently here in the bottom of the first inning, as now with 2 outs, there are runners on first and second base again, and Josh Hatcher making a start at first base. He will stand in at the plate.
Yeah, gotta love the aggressive bats right now, and you can't really be anything wrong with Spencer Henson trying to be aggressive. Things were really going the Miners' way, so try to expend your luck. And Nick Brooks keeps this thing going with the hit. He's really seeing the ball very nicely of late.
So Josh Hatcher, 250 batting average, 9 hits, 36 at-bats, 4 RBIs, 5 walks, 6 strikeouts, and getting on base at .333. Nick Brooks just keeps on hitting today. He had 3 hits in yesterday's game and tacks on another one now.
Yeah, really impressive what Brooks has been able to do, bringing that veteran presence, starting to really see it quite well. Was in the home run derby, unfortunately didn't win, but we did see a home run yesterday from Brooksy.
No count yet. The first pitch in to Josh Hatcher's a breaking ball that hits the outside corner. 0-1. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Miners lead 1-0. Nick Brooks on first, and over at second base is Aaron Walters. Lopez's pitch is swung on and just fouled off by Josh Hatcher. 0-2 the count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Hatcher does have 2 doubles on the season. Lopez looks into his catcher, Ryan Cook. 0-2 the count. Lopez looks back now at the plate, swung on, and this one's hit a long way deep into center field, but moving under it is the center fielder Tyler Duke, who makes the catch, and the side is retired, but not before the Mat-Su Miners score 1 on an RBI single from Kona Quiggle. Miners 1, Oilers nothing. As we head into the top of the second inning, you're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio.
Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
This is Aaron Walters from Texas A&M University. I'm a catcher, infielder, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Top of the second inning, Miners 1, Oilers nothing, as they are coming to the plate here in the top of the second. Leading things off for them, Grant Wood will be followed by Evan Berkey and Ryan Novus. A 1-2-3 inning in the top of the first for Ian Churchill, as the Miners now give him the lead 1-0. We take a look at the ERA leaders. Mike Lopez was at the top. He just allowed his earned run in the bottom of the first. He had a 0.54 ERA. Adam Simoneris from the Bucks is in second with a .60. And Cody Cook of the Pirates, a 1.25. As we're about ready to start things off here on the top of the second. First pitch hits the outside corner. First strike, one called. Doing the umpiring today behind the plate is Brad Polk. At third base is Josh Nolan. And first base umpire, Scott Johnston. 0-1 the count. Pitch in from Churchill. Swung on, fouled off right side and out of play. Josh Haley of the Matsu Miners, he is fourth in ERA with a 1.84. He was a starter in yesterday's game as the 0-2 is swung on. Ground ball right back up the middle. The first hit against Ian Churchill happens here in the top of the second inning. It's a leadoff single for Grant Wood. And now the Oilers look to respond after the Miners scored one in the bottom of the first. Coming to the plate is Evan Berkey.
Churchill got what he wanted right there, a ground ball. Unfortunately, it was well out of the range of the shortstop, Drew Swift. But he'll look for another one right now, and hopefully it goes towards one of the Miners defensemen.
Evan Berkey, 21 hits, 90 at-bats, batting .233, 15 RBIs, 16 walks, and 15 strikeouts. There's a runner on first base here in the top of the second inning against Ian Churchill, as now Berkey will bunt one and now go out of play. And somebody almost made a nice catch. One of the fans here at Herman Brothers Field. It's a rare area for a foul ball to be hit as the fences are extended and high. But the bunt was placed in a position where the ball could get foul. Nonetheless, no balls, one strike, nobody out in the top of the second inning. Evan Berkey has grounded into one double play on the season as there's a runner on first base in Grant Wood. Churchill pitching from the stretch for the first time today. As he gets ready, the 0-1 swung on, and this one is hit towards the right side. Nick Brooks running towards the foul line, but he'll run out of room as that's out of play. No balls, two strikes. Into Evan Berkey.
Berkey has been really struggling from the plate. Only a one hit in his past 16 at-bats. Really, this whole Oilers batting lineup has been struggling as well. 177 average in their past 5 games.
Churchill's 0-2. Taken inside for ball one. Not your traditional waste pitch there, as that was inside and almost hit Evan Berkey, but a nice change of pace there.
Yeah, it was. It was low. It started on the inside part of the plate and then drifted that way. Impossible pitch to hit, so smart choice there for me and Churchill.
The 1-2 swung on and just fouled off as that rolls back to the fence. Churchill thought he had his third strikeout, but not yet. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody out here in the top of the second inning with the Miners leading 1-0.
Very similar pitch right there for me and Churchill. It was just a little more up in the zone, so more appealing for Berkey, but it was hard to hit, hence why he just fouled it off.
1-2. The pitch from Churchill swung on and just fouled off as that was a jam job and inside out from Evan Berkey, but he stays alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Churchill really pounding the inside portion of the zone to Evan Berkey right now. Going to be interesting to see if he goes with that again with a fast or an off-speed pitch.
5 pitches deep into the count. The 6th pitch is about to be thrown. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Runner on first. Churchill pitching from the stretch. He deals. Outside for ball 2. Churchill is really a guy who pounds the strike zone, gets a lot of foul balls, and when he can, gets the strikeout. You don't see him go 2 balls, 3 balls too often.
Yeah, he really does. And when he does waste a pitch, it is precision. He means to. It's not a loss of command.
2-2 the count. The pitch in. Little bit high. Ball 3, count is run full against Evan Berkey. A leadoff single started things off here on the top of the second inning. Grant Wood picked up his 24th hit of the season as he stands on first. Ian Churchill is now ready from the stretch. Locked in, the runner's in motion, but it's going to be ball 4. Churchill missed high and away. First walk of the game for Ian Churchill, as now there are runners on first and second base and nobody out here on the top of the second.
Yeah, real tough batter to pitch there from Ian Churchill, but he'll just have to shake that one off. We've been talking about it very much. He's a guy that pounds the zone, so he'll look to do more of that.
And with the walk, pitching coach Jeff Erlab will walk out to the mound. Erlab, just a recent name as a head coach at Horizon High School in Phoenix, Arizona. He's putting together his coaching staff. For Erlab, he's got to rein in the starters and rein in the bullpen just a little bit, as now the Miners are no longer at the top in ERA. They are second to the Bucks with a 2.84 ERA, a mark that was somewhere around 2.5 or lower during the season. So as of recent, with the games being scored 7-5 and 6-5, the earned run average is rising higher.
Yeah, over the past 5 games, they have a 3.13 ERA, so not exactly dominant from the mound, but have been all right. And unfortunately, the bats haven't been super good as well. And that's just kind of been the name of the game the past few games for this Miners squad, is just all right. So they need to hop back into that barrier of being elite and try to pull away. And they have a great opportunity playing the second-place team in the next 2 games in 3 days. So they'll look to capitalize it, especially considering these games are at home.
For a while, the Miners were 3 games up on the Oilers, and now only 2 games up with a chance to put it to 3. Ryan Nova sacrificing himself here with a bunt. He misses it. Found back. 0-1 the count. Infield corners are in. Middle infield playing back in double play depth. Outfield playing Nova straight away as he bats .235, 28 hits, and 119 at-bats. 12 RBIs for Ryan Novus. He squares around the bunt, and this one does get laid down and goes foul. Bassetti made sure to tag it foul. 0-2 the count now to Ryan Novus.
And that will never make a coach happy. If you're willing to sacrifice bunt and you're going to hold the bunt in front of there for a while, it's not even a matter of being late to the pitch. It's right there, and you foul it off twice. It's definitely going to be interesting to see the way Ian Churchill pitches to Ryan Novus now as he's ahead in the count.
Definitely a favorable outcome for Ian Churchill. 0-2 the count. Nobody out, top of the second inning. Runners on first and second base. Miners up 1-0. Churchill pitching from the stretch. Novus does not have the bunt around, and the pitch in, taken outside for ball 1. Novus just watching it go all the way. Miners yesterday lost 6-5, a heartbreaking loss to the Anchorage Glacial Pilots, as that was their final game against the Pilots. 7-4, the record against them during the regular season, but as everything stays the way it does, you'll see them first round of the postseason. The 1-2, taken in the dirt, a good block from Aaron Walters. 2-2 the count. Churchill missed low in the dirt.
Yeah, excellent job there, Aaron Walters, being a wall, holding the runners at first and second, and with nobody out, that's even more crucial. You do not want to have 2 runners in scoring position opposed to 1.
Ty Bassetti playing even at the third base bag. Josh Hatcher playing just a tad behind it as middle infield is back. Ian Churchill, the count is at 2-2 to Ryan Novus at the stretch, and he's ready. The pitch swung on, and this one is fouled off right side and out of play. 2-2 the count, nobody out. Runners are on first and second base. Churchill looking to get the first out, and Ryan Novus as the count is at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miners did have 3 hits against Mike Lopez in the bottom of the first inning, but this has been a long inning for Churchill. No runs are across as of yet. 2-2 the count. Churchill looks back now at the plate. This one swung on and fouled off. Rushing over into foul territory is Josh Hatcher, but he'll run out of room at the fence as now a pile of kids will look to go and retrieve it.
Ryan Novus doing a nice job at the plate right now. Originally not expected to swing the bat, but ever since having to, he's fouled off 4, so excellent job of protecting.
2-2 the count remains, and for the Oilers, 500 at home, 11-8 on the road. The Oilers doing a nice job when not at home, as opposed to the Miners 12-4, looking to make that 13-4 after today. Churchill has a sign and appears ready. The 2-2. Swung on, and another foul ball off the bat of Ryan Novus, really making Ian Churchill work and extending the pitch count and the at-bat.
So what originally looked at was going to be a quick batter for Ian Churchill has turned into a long one, and that's all a credit to Ryan Novus being very plate disciplined in there and protecting when need be.
7 pitches deep into the at-bat. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out as the 8th pitch is on the way. This one swung on, ground ball, a hot shot that gets through Tyler Bassetti. Rounding third and heading for home is the throw. The throw on the mark and gets out Grant Wood. A terrific throw from the left fielder, Danny Wright, who hustled over near the line, something that he's been improving on all season long. This ball game is unchanged. 1-0 Miners as a terrific throw from Danny Wright in left. Right on the mark, Aaron Walters at the plate gets Grant Wood by a mile.
Yeah, it was a wonderful throw by Danny Wright. He's been struggling defensively, but proves he has still got it right there. Ian Churchill was loving it. That is absolutely huge. A lot of things going the right way for the Miners right now. Looks like it's going to be a good outcome for the rest of this game.
Calvin Ferris is the next batter up. And on the play, Ryan Novus remains at first base. Evan Berkey goes from first to third, as there's one away here in the top of the second inning. Infield is still double play depth. Hatcher holding on. Novus at first. First pitch swinging is Calvin Ferris. He swings through for strike 1. Ferris batting 183, 11 hits, 60 at-bats, has 4 RBIs, 4 walks, and 16 strikeouts. 0-1 the counts. Churchill with runners at the corners. He checks over to first. Hatcher has it and tags, but not in time, as a little half-hearted slide from Ryan Novus. He goes back easily. Over on third base is Evan Berkey. First base is Ryan Novus. Second base is open. Runners at the corners here in the top of the second inning. Churchill is pitching to Calvin Ferris. And now he's ready. The pitch in, swung on. This one's a ground ball through a diving Josh Hatcher. Ball game is tied. Rounding second and holding is Ryan Novus. And on first base with his 5th RBI of the season is now Calvin Ferris. Tie game here in the top of the second. 1-1, Miners and Oilers.
Excellent piece of hitting right there from Bryce Bigel. Just simply, or rather Calvin Ferris just simply took the pitch where it was and shot it in between the first and second base gap.
So the walk comes around to hurt Ian Churchill as Berkey has scored and Bryce Bigel at the plate. Bigel batting from the right side. First pitch is in for a called strike. 0-1. For Bigel, 11 hits, 62 at-bats, batting a .177, 1 RBI, 11 walks, and 20 strikeouts. Bigel also does have 2 doubles, as runners are on first and second base. 1 out in the top of the second. Swinging and fouling it straight back is Bigel. 0-2. As now this ball game is tied 1-1 between the Miners and Oilers. An RBI single from Calvin Ferris tied things up. Kona Quiggle had the first run of the game, the first RBI in the bottom of the first off of Mike Lopez, as Churchill steps off the mound, and Caleb Van Blake will walk out and have a little talk with Churchill. A mound visit has already been made here in the top of the second, so coaches cannot come out to the mound unless they want to take Ian Churchill out.
Could be a pickoff move that was just in place there by Caleb Van Blake, a right-handed batter, so he would be the one covering the second base bag. So Ryan Nova's going to have to be careful out there on second.
0-2 the count to Bryce Bigel. 1 out, top of the second inning. 1 run already in. Tied ball game 1-1. Churchill's 0-2 is swung on and line drive over the base at first. That gets down. Rounding third and heading for home is Ryan Novus. The throw goes to second base. It's a RBI single for Bryce Bigel, his 2nd RBI of the season. Tie game no more. It's the Oilers 2, the Miners 1, and runners now are at the corners yet again. David Avitia has popped out of the dugout and will take a trot down to the bullpen as Miners look to get somebody up. So Calvin Ferris had an RBI single to tie the game. Bryce Bigel adds a single of his own. Ryan Novus has scored. Calvin Ferris is on third base now as he went from first to third. Looks like the Miners will be slowing down the game just a bit, as it looks like number 30 is up in the pen, Brady Corrigan. Ian Churchill from the stretch with runners at the corners. First pitch swinging is Tyler Duke, who fouls it off. So Ian Churchill trying to find a way to get out of this inning. The ball game is tied no more. 2-1 Oilers here in the top of the second inning. Oilers have 4 hits all in this inning. No errors have been recorded, so everything is earned. With runners at the corners, on the move was Bryce Bigel, but the pitch was swung on and fouled back from Tyler Duke. 0-2 the count, and Churchill has to find a way to put out these batters.
Yeah, he really does. Could use a double play ball desperately right here, but a strikeout would work too because you have to have a hit against the Miners. So Churchill looking to continue that train.
After the hot start, the momentum has shifted from the Miners to the Oilers here in the top of the second. As Churchill's ready for the 0-2. Pitch in, swung on, a bouncing ball over to Drew Swift, who goes to second for one. Van Blake the turn, in time, double play. Drew Swift ranging into the hole on the left side. The quick hands, the turn to Van Blake, the throw, just perfect defense from the Matsu Miners to get the threat ended here in the top of the second, but not before the Oilers score 2. The bottom half of the order did it against Ian Churchill, as now the Miners will look to respond in the bottom of the second. It's the Oilers 2, the Miners 1, as we're heading to the bottom. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad, an Operation Lifesaver, would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Danny Wright will lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning. The Miners had the lead entering the top of the second, but Churchill struggled just a bit as 2 runs came across. It's the Oilers 2, Miners 1, and the switch hitter out of Southeast Missouri at the plate. First pitch from Lopez into Danny Wright swinging, and this is a drive deep out into center field. Moving back is Tyler Duke, but he makes it on one-handed grab for the first out. 1 pitch and 1 out for the Miners here in the bottom of the second inning.
Miners getting a few deep flyouts tonight, so that's just something to note as they have been really driving the ball against Lopez.
And now Drew Swift batting into the 8 hole for the first time this season as he will face Mike Lopez. First pitch in is taken outside for ball 1. Miners will look to get the momentum back on their side after they scored 1 in the bottom of the first and now have a small mountain to climb as Swift flies this one out into shallow center field. Tyler Duke is under it, makes a 2-hand grab this time for the second out. So Tyler Duke has been active so far early in the game. A F8 to end the bottom of the first inning, and now 2 more to begin the bottom of the second. Tyler Bassetti, 239 batting average, 26 hits, 109 at-bats, has 11 RBIs, 14 walks, and strikes out 24 times. First pitch into Bassetti, swung on, ground ball, hot shot over to third base, Grant Wood, who has it, the throw over in time for the third out. Miners go quiet here in the bottom of the second inning. It's the Oilers 2, Miners 1. Top of the third coming up next here on Matsu Miners Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Baseball.
Top of the third inning for the Peninsula Oilers here at Harmon Brothers Field as they have a 2-1 lead over the Matsu Miners. 6 came to the plate against Ian Churchill in the top of the second. 2 runs came across as Zach Zaleski, the leadoff man for the Oilers, will stand in. Zaleski's first time up, struck out swinging as the first pitch is low and inside for ball 1. Zaleski 2 extra base hits on his short season. 1 double and a triple as the second pitch is taken inside, ball 2. So Ian Churchill, he's been throwing some strikes, but some just too over the plate. As a 2-0 is taken outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Now the count. So a lot of strikes in the top of the second. None here in the top of the third. As the 3-0 is on the way, taken all the way for strike 1. Churchill from the windup, and he deals. Swung on, a hot shot over to short, taking it on the lip. What a play, Drew Swift. The glove was low, then it had to be really high, and he was able to reach up and almost snow cone the ball to make the throw.
Man, oh man, Drew Swift has some of the quickest hands in the ABL, if not in all of Summer Collegiate League baseball. Absolutely incredible just to see what he did there to throw that leather up, and then that did not affect his throw in any way, shape, or form. Perfectly on a line. Love to see it.
First pitch swinging now is Chad Bible as he drives this one deep into center field, but taking a couple steps back is Kona Quiggle, who makes a one-hand grab and throws it in. 2 outs have been made here in the top of the third inning, as 2 outs were not made in the top of the second until 5 batters came across the plate. So now Ryan Cook stands in. Cook struck out looking his first time as he's first pitch swing and fouls it off. No balls and 1 strike.
Churchill just trying to do exactly what he did to begin this ball game against these first 3 batters.
Churchill working quickly now as he misses high and away for ball 1. 1-1 the count with 2 away here in the top of the third inning. Oilers 2, Miners 1. As Churchill, the pitch swung on, line drive out into right field. That will 2-hop the right fielder Nick Brooks, and a base hit for Ryan Cook, his first on the day. Grant Wood, who led things off back in the top of the second inning, almost came around to score, but thanks to a great throw from Danny Wright in left field, nailed him at the plate on a 7-2 putout, an outfield assist. So Grant Wood had a single back in the top of the second, as now the first pitch misses outside, goes in and out of the glove of Aaron Walters, but just goes to the right of him. 1-0. Miners looking to snap their 2-game losing streak. 4-6 over the last 10 as a pitch is in and swung on. Hit towards the right side and foul. 1 hops its way over the border and into Alaskan State Fair property. 1 ball and 1 strike into Grant Wood.
Churchill really needs to get this out right here. Can't really hurl through another inning, as he is a guy that doesn't normally have a high pitch count capacity.
Churchill's 1-1 is taken inside for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top of the third with a runner on first. Oilers 2, Miners 1. Churchill looking to put this inning to rest. Pitching from the stretch. Dialed in, he pitches, swung on, ground ball over to third. It takes a bounce on the bag. The throw gets him in time. Some great defense from the left side of the Mat-Su Miners. Stop me if you heard it before, but Drew Swift and Tyler Bassetti, a great duo on the left side as the Mat-Su Miners trail the Peninsula Oilers 2-1. The bottom of the third is coming up next here on Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's Josh Hatcher here, infield outfield from Mississippi State University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Bottom of the third inning here at Harmon Brothers Field between the Miners and the Oilers. It's Matanuska Valley Federal Credit Union Day, as it appears a great crowd at the ballpark. I'm sure the Miners and everybody here at Palmer, it has to be 800 plus yet again, as Caleb Van Blake will lead things off. Van Blake had a double and then came around to score on a Kona Quiggle RBI single. Van Blake had the double, make that his 4th on the season, as he will stand in against Mike Lopez. Lopez in his last outing on July 11th against the Pilots pitched 4 1/3 of an inning, allowed 1 run. It was not earned, 3 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. As we're here in the bottom of the third, about ready to get going, as swinging through is Caleb Van Blake for strike 1. Van Blake getting on at the highest clip at 481 for the Miners. A terrific on-base percentage, as the 0-1 from Lopez is on the way, swung on, and a line drive deep out into right field. Moving back is the outfielder Ferris, but he's able to turn around and make the catch. A little twisted out there, but he was able to get the job done for the Oilers.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to head a long way, but unfortunately, Van Blake just dipped the shoulder a little too much, so wasn't able to get the distance.
First out has been recorded here in the bottom of the third inning, and Spencer Henson, who was intentionally walked his last time up, he will stand in. Henson, that was his 8th walk of the season, as he still has a .348 batting average. Curveball misses low and inside. 1-0.
Wouldn't be surprised if they completely pitch around Spencer Henson right now, not try to give him anything to hit.
Swung on a miss by Henson on a fastball, 1-1. In yesterday's game, Spencer went 2 for 3, had 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and also walked twice. As now Lopez from the windup, he deals. Swung on, a little chopper over to third, took a high bounce off the lip at home. The throw just gets Spencer Henson 2 outs away here in the bottom of the third inning. Lopez has retired 5 straight now after a little bit of a juggling act in the first inning where he only allowed 1 run.
Yeah, really settling into his own after that struggle of first inning. But Kona Quiggle was the man to break in a run, so interesting to see what he'll do here.
Quiggle, who had a hit his first time up, takes a breaking ball for a called strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count, and Porcona went 1 for 4 yesterday, had a walk, a run scored, and 2 strikeouts. The 0-1 misses high, 1-1. Pitch in to Kona Quiggle. This curveball misses away for ball 2. For Kona, 6 doubles, 3 triples, 2 home runs. He's been showing the extra base power as he swings and fouls one off towards the left side. That goes out of play. 2-2 the count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Miners trailing the Oilers 2-1 as they look to tie it or take the lead. The 2-2 from Lopez. Swung on and a blooper out into left field. Moving in is left fielder Novus. Makes the 2-hand grab and the side's retired. Matsu Miners go in order yet again here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. No change in the score. It's 2-1 Oilers as we throw it over to Brad Walker for the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad, an Operation Lifesaver, would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
Hi, I'm Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field, where the Miners currently trail the Oilers 2-1 in this matchup in between the two teams that currently sit atop of the ABL. The Oilers only trail by 2 games. They have an opportunity to tie things at the top of the ABL as they will face this Miners squad twice, this being the first game. The second game will come on Friday as the Miners have an off day tomorrow So we're ready to get things going here in the 4th inning. Ian Churchill still on the mound for his 4th inning of work. He'll be facing Evan Berkey, Ryan Novus, and Calvin Ferris. And this part of the order really got to Ian Churchill in the 2nd inning. They're the ones that brought across both runs for the Oilers. As the Miners did score in that opening inning of play, the Oilers brought it back with 2 themselves. We have yet to see the score change since. So Berkey stands in with a walk in his first at-bat, ended up coming around to score the game's first run. And is only 3 of 21 against the Miners this season. So Churchill looking in. He is ready to begin this 4th inning. His pitch, a fastball that misses outside to the right-handed hitting Evan Berkey. 1-0. Berkey out of Cal State Bakersfield. Just like left-handed thrower from the Miners, Kyle King. This 1-0 is bounced over to Bozetti, who was playing in. He makes the one-hand grab and tosses over to first for out number 1. So Bozetti, after making that nice play to end the top of the 3rd inning, records the first out here in the 4th. So Ryan Novus steps to the dish. Was the 2nd run to score back in the 2nd inning, as he had an RBI as well with that hit. So he stands in from the right side of the dish. Now 9 hits and 3 RBIs against the Miners. Churchill's from the wind. Well in front of that one was Ryan Novus, so he goes down in the count 0-1. So back-to-back games currently with an RBI for Ryan Novus. The left fielder now up to 13 RBIs on the season. The 0-1 pitch. Did he go? Scott Johnston down at first said he did not. So the count will all be tied up at 1. Novus, that is his first hit in 14 at-bats he had back in the 2nd inning. So looks to continue a little bit of a hot streak right now. Churchill's 1-1. A fastball that was up and away for a ball. So 2 balls, 1 strike with 1 down here in the top of the 4th inning. Oilers leading the Miners 2-1. Churchill looks in. Kicks and deals. This pitch hits that outside corner for strike 2. So all tied up at 2 between Ian Churchill and Ryan Novus with 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning.
And Churchill did a nice job painting the outside corner. He just missed over the zone a little too much back in the top of the 2nd.
As he looks to deliver a 3rd strike here, is 2-2. Fouled off to the right side. Hatcher en route, but he'll run out of room. So the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Miners currently leading the season series against the Oilers 5-4. So we will decide a victor here in these next 2 days. It's the final 2 times these 2 teams will play each other, today and Friday. So Churchill will try a 2-2 once again. Swung on and missed by Ryan Novus for strike number 3. 2 down now in the top of the 4th inning via a Ian Churchill strikeout, his 3rd of the season. Churchill now with 28 on the season. 3rd of this game, I should say. 28th of the season. That brings up left-handed hitting Calvin Ferris from Brown University. So an Ivy League product. A little lefty-on-lefty matchup with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Churchill's first pitch to Ferris. That's a strike on the outside portion of the plate. 0-1. So the Oilers have won 4 out of their past 6 games, but it's really been thanks to pitching. As this 0-1 is swung on and missed by Ferris. Ian Churchill 1 out away from working a perfect 4th inning. This Oilers lineup only batting .177 in their past 5 games and have only brought in 10 runs. Churchill's his 0-2. Swung on and missed by Calvin Ferris. Ian Churchill delivers a perfect 4th inning, but the Miners still trail the Oilers 2-1. We'll have the home half of the 4th inning when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Aaron Walters from Texas A&M University. I'm a catcher, infielder, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Welcome back into Herman Brothers Field, the site of tonight's contest between the Oilers and the Miners. The Oilers are leading the Miners 2-1. I'd like to take this time to wish some happy birthdays to Miners celebrating their day of birth today. The elder Malachi Emmons celebrating his 21st birthday, the right-handed reliever, and infielder Connor Denning will be celebrating his 20th birthday today, so wish a very happy birthday to both of them, and hopefully the Miners can come back and pull out a win today, as Mike Lopez right now is dialed in after giving up a run in that 1st inning, has retired 6 cents, as he'll be facing Aaron Walters, Nick Brooks, and Josh Hatcher, the 4, 5, 6 batters. So Walter steps in. He reached in the 1st inning on a fielder's choice, and he's been really seeing the ball very well against this Oilers squad. 14 of 31 coming into tonight, and 10 of his 13 RBIs have come against the Peninsula Oilers. So Lopez, working from the wind, is in his 4th inning of work. His first pitch is a strike on the outer portion of the plate, 0-1. And we mentioned the hitting hasn't been too good for the Oilers, but the pitching has been phenomenal. In the past 5 games, they've gone 40 innings with a 1.58 ERA. Aaron Walters chops it foul to the right side, so he's fallen behind in this count, 0-2. Walters only striking out 17 times this season. Came into tonight only 1 hit in his past 13 at-bats. This 0-2 pitch is high and away. Count goes to 1-2. Bottom of the 4th inning. Miners trying to tie this thing up at 2. But Aaron Walters is down the count 1-2. Lines 1, foul to the right side. So the count will stay at 1-2. Walters last night going 1 for 4 against the Pilots, where the Miners dropped a heartbreaker 6-5 on a walk-off hit from Jordan Arruda. Walters stick out 1-2 with another foul ball.
1,063 people in attendance here at Harmon Brothers Field. Another great crowd to come out and support the first place Miners.
Gotta love it. A pushed up start at 6 tonight, but the fans still coming in. Aaron Walters lines one just over the head of Bryce Bigell, and he'll have a leadoff hit. The second time tonight, the Miners have had a leadoff man on in this ball game. The last time it happened, it worked very well. Caleb Van Blake ended up coming around to score the game's first run in the bottom of the first inning. And Nick Brooks a dish. Talk about hot. This guy on a 4-game hit streak and last week with a home run and 3 RBIs. So he's a bat you definitely want to step up to the dish right now. Runner on first. Miners trail 2-1. Bottom of the 4th inning. Nobody out. Lopez working the second time tonight for a ball 1-0. Brooks, this is his first game against the Oilers all season, as this is the only team he has yet to see. But he looks to continue, even though it is a new style of pitchers. 1-0, yet again, misses low and away. Nice block there by Ryan Cook. So the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Miners trying to get out of this funk where they've lost 4 out of their past 6 games. And have lost 2 in a row ever since coming out of the Scouts Showcase and All-Star break. So Lopez glances at first, now comes ready from his torso. Yet again, misses inside. So 3 balls, no strikes to Nick Brooks. Brooks has walked 4 times this season as Josh Hatcher awaits on deck. He flew out in his first at-bat. So we got to wonder what Lopez will offer to Brooks here with a 3-0 count. Brooks is swinging at it, chops it over to third. The throw to second in time for 1. But Evan Berkey mishandles it, so he won't be able to make the transition for the double play, and the Oilers only get 1. That is the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning. So a 5-3 putout. Aaron Walters will jog back to the dugout, and Nick Brooks will reach on the fielder's choice. So the second time he is on base tonight, and Josh Hatcher will step up to the dish. Mentioned flew out in his first at-bat, but there is a runner on first now. Well, still with 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch to Hatcher has him swinging through, 0-1. Miners trailing the Oilers 2-1, but are ahead in the ABL currently by 2 games. Miners 21-14, and Oilers are 19-16. So Lopez is ready for his 0-1. Gets Hatcher swinging through on a off-speed pitch. So 0-2 is the count to Josh Hatcher. He struck out 15 times this season and now 4 of 20 against the Oilers. So Hatcher batting from the left side of the dish against the right-handed Mike Lopez, who shakes off Cook and now is ready. His 0-2 is on the way. Hatcher lines it right up the middle. Duke will make the play off the hop, so Josh Hatcher has a base hit to put a second base runner on for the Matsu Miners here in the bottom of the 4th inning. That was an absolute shot. I would have not liked to have been Mike Lopez there, who definitely heard the zip of that one as it went over his head.
Well, right back at him. It was a great hit by Hatcher, and even more impressive, he did it down on the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Hatcher not afraid to just stand in there and put the ball in play. He did a nice job.
Runners on first and second for Danny Wright. Steps in from the left side, the switch hitter. Silly batting lefty against the right-handed Lopez, as he has an opportunity to tie this game up at 2 with Nick Brooks standing on second. Mike Lopez misses outside with the first pitch, 1-0. As Danny Wright flew out to center as well in his first at-bat. Lopez's 1-0 is looked at for a strike. Count goes to 1-1 on Danny Wright. Danny Wright has driven in 4 RBIs this season, as it's been a while since Mr. Wright has done so, so you could say he is due. Lopez is 1-1. This one dribbled over to third, moving over is Wood. His throw to second in time, and the throw to first is low, so Zach Zaleski will have to come off the bag to block it, as there will be an out on second for the second out of the inning, but the tying run is only 90 feet away now for the Matsu Miners.
Well, 2 double plays that the Oilers were not able to come around and really deliver on it might come back to bite them in the end.
And you mentioned it could come back to bite them. It will definitely be the reason of discussion if Drew Swift can drive in a run here or reach base. But 2 outs, bottom of the 4th inning. Oilers atop of the Miners, 2-1 here at Herman Brothers Field, where the Miners have been very good this year, 12-4. That is where their last win came before the Scouts Showcase and All-Star game. And Drew Swift will step up to the dish from Arizona State. So Drew Swift, who flew out in the 2nd inning, only 3 hits and 25 at-bats, but last night did go 1 for 4 with a stolen base. So Lopez with runners on the corners facing Drew Swift, who stands in from the right side of the dish, looking to deliver big, but he'll have to do it with 2 outs. So Lopez from the stretch, his first pitch to Drew Swift is looked at low for a ball. They check down. He did not go, so the count will go to 1-0 on Drew Swift. Swift, although he's been struggling at the plate for the most part this season, does have 12 RBIs, so is doing a good job of producing when guys are in scoring position, as he currently sits at a 1-0 count with 2 outs. Danny Wright on first, Nick Brooks on third, both reaching on fielder's choices. And a quick throw over to first. Danny Wright diving back in time, though, as he does not have a very long lead. Have to be safe, as Lopez does have that quick throw over. So he'll come from his torso. Drew Swift looks at a strike on the lower inside corner. 1-1. Lopez came in tonight, has started against the Miners twice. He was 1-0 in those starts in 13 innings pitched. He's allowed 2 earned runs on 7 hits and struck out 4. So he's definitely been pretty dominant against the Miners, but they're the only team that's brought runs across against him. Lopez is 1-1. This one lined into left center field. That's going to bring in the tying run, Nick Brooks. And runners are now on first and second for the Miners. Drew Swift, with his 13th RBI of the season, ties this game up at 2. So just like the first inning, Connor, the Miners get their leadoff man on, and then they end up drawing in a run.
Well, it's really the 2 missed double play turns by the Oilers. A couple defensive mishaps there that really allowed the Miners to come in and score this run. This inning should have been over a while ago, but hats off to the Miners, staying through it, keeping their heads down, and going forward.
So Drew Swift comes up clutch for the Miners right now as Tyler Bozetti fouls one off to the left side. His count will go to 0-1. As this game is now all knotted up at 2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Miners doing so with 2 outs on the Oilers ace, and really could be considered the ace of the ABL, and Mike Lopez. But this is twice now that the Miners have gotten to Lopez and have scored 2 runs or more. So Lopez is 0-1 to Bozetti. Is a breaking pitch that's in there for a strike, so he's fallen behind in the count, 0-2. Right on second, Swift on first here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bozetti is 0-1 tonight, as he was first pitch swinging in his first at-bat, as he ended up grounding out. So Lopez, after checking second, goes to the plate. His 0-2 pitch is a fastball that misses outside, 1-2. So the Miners now have driven in 165 runs on the season. Came in leading the ABL by a wide margin in that category. So they look to continue that success tonight. Lopez's 1-2 pitch. Bozetti waited on it and fouled it off to the left side. So the count will stay at 1-2. He was just ahead of it. Did a nice job of watching it in, but a bit eager to turn on that one. But runner still on first and second for the Miners, as Drew Swift just drove in the tying run in the previous at-bat. So 1-2 is the count, 2 down, bottom of the 4th inning, all squared up at 2. Lopez peeps second and now goes to the plate, but misses high with that pitch, 2-2. Not a big leg kick from Mike Lopez, just kind of short-stepped it. Could be the reason that he missed high. Nevertheless, the count is all squared up at 2. With 2 down to Tyler Bozetti, stepping in from the left side of the dish. So Lopez's 2-2 pitch is hit high in the air to the right side of the field. That's going to go foul and out of play. So Bozetti stays alive at 2-2. Bozzetti looking to extend his hit streak to 10 tonight. It would come in a huge moment right now as both runners will be on the move with the crack of the bat since there is 2 outs. So Lopez looks in for his pitch. Now comes ready. His 2-2's on the way. Bozzetti hits it, pops one in the air to left field. Moving in is Ryan Novus, and he makes the catch for out number 3. Not before the Mat-Su Miners tied this ball game up 2 in the bottom of the 4th inning, thanks to Drew Swift's RBI single. We'll have the 5th inning for you when we come back on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
This is David Avitia from Grand Canyon University. I'm a catcher, and this is Mat-Su Miners Baseball.
Ian Churchill toes the rubber. He's retired 4 in a row now against the Oilers, as the Miners are now all tied up at 2 as we enter this 5th inning of play. Drew Swift tying things up in the bottom of the 4th with an RBI single. So Bryce Bigel, Tyler Duke, and Zach Zaleski are due up for the Peninsula Oilers. Coming up all the way from Kenai, the long road trip for them, as they'll be facing the Miners yet again on Friday. So Churchill winds and delivers the first pitch of the 5th inning. It's a ball that misses low and away to the right-handed hitting Bigel. Bigel only 2 hits against the Miners all season. Now up to 3 thanks to that RBI single in the 2nd. So the 1-0 pitch. This one's laced into left field. That's going to head all the way to the wall. Danny Wright will move over to catch it, and Bryce Bigel gets things going in the 5th inning with a leadoff double. Nice hit there from Bryce Bigel. It was a low pitch, but he golfed it out into left field. So he's on second and in scoring position as we're tied up at 2 here in the top of the 5th inning. So that brings up Tyler Duke, who grounded into a big double play in the 2nd inning to allow Ian Churchill to get out of that long 2nd inning, as he has a long sign down from his head coach and third base coach, Kyle Brown. Have to imagine maybe a sack bunt in this situation, as he is 0-11 against the Miners this year, as the corners are in. Churchill's first pitch is a bunt that is just in front of the plate. Aaron Walters will come out. His only play is the first, and he makes it for out number 1. So a sack bunt there from Tyler Duke. It was a close play. The Oilers are not happy with that call. Nevertheless, it was a nice play from catcher Aaron Walters, as that does move the go-ahead run only 90 feet away in Bryce Bigel. So with 1 out, Zach Zaleski steps up to the dish. He is 0 for 2 tonight, as the infield moves in for the Miners. The game is tied at 2 in the top of the 5th inning. So Churchill working from the stretch. His first pitch, Zaleski, a tapper down the first base line, but it goes foul. Josh Hatcher pretending to throw it to home, as that would have been the play he had to have made, as it seemed like Bryce Bigel was on the move.
Well, should that ball been fair, that would have been some trouble for Hatcher. You know, the slow roller in the infield, and of course, the move would have been Miguel, so it would have been a bang-bang play.
Count is 0-1, 1 out. Visiting half of the 5th inning. We're all tied up at 2. Zach Zaleski looks to change that. Only 1 hit, as the first 3 batters have come across twice. Now this will be the 3rd go-round. So Churchill from his chest, his 0-1 pitch is a strike on the upper part of the plate. 0-2. This would be a big strikeout for Churchill. If he can get it, it would allow 2 outs and allow the infield to move back. So he looks in. This is a key pitch to the left-handed hitting Zaleski. The 0-2 will hit Zaleski high and in, hits him in that right elbow pad. So that'll allow Zaleski to jog on over to first, and now runners on the corners with only one out in the top of the fifth inning.
Well, as you never want to see a hit by pitch, but the one thing that does do is set up the double play. It's almost like an intentional walk, but, of course, hit by pitch.
Yeah, and so that does move the middle infield back. They'll play double play depth, but the corners will stay in here with one out as Chad Bible steps to the dish. He's a right-handed hitter, so a lefty on righty matchup. Chad Bible looks to break this 2-2 tie as he has delivered 7 times for 7 RBIs this season. So Churchill, a deep breath. His first pitch to Bible. This one flared into right field. Nick Brooks moving in. He'll play it off the hop. His throw to second as he was probably looking for the forced play, but Drew Swift was not there. And the Oilers have now taken the lead 3-2 in the top of the fifth inning. Bryce Bigell comes in to score thanks to the RBI single from Chad Bible, his 8th of the season and 6th RBI against the Matsu Miners.
And that was a ball that was falling fast out into right field. Nick Brooks did the right thing, taking one step back. But at one point, you have to realize that that's going to be in no matter what. And it just fell in front of him.
First pitch to Cook is fouled back and behind us in the box. And surprising that Brooks didn't try to just go home with that throw because he was ranging in. But I understand the logic. Try to go to second to get the force out. But nevertheless, there is only one out. In the top of the fifth inning, the Oilers just taking the lead 3-2. Runners on first and second. Churchill misses high and away. The count goes to 1-1. Ryan Cook with a hit in his last at-bat. There was no one on for him in that at-bat, but right now he's got runners on first and second. So Churchill, his 1-1 is on the way. This one is grounded over to third. Tyler Brosetti will tap the bag at third. Now his throw across the diamond is in time for out number 3. Nice double play executed by Tyler Brosetti, but not before the Oilers bring across one more run to take a 3-2 lead over the Matsu Miners. We'll see if the Miners can bring it back in the bottom of the fifth inning. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
And the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
So after a bit of a delay in between the top and bottom of the fifth innings, we're ready to begin the home half of the fifth inning. So the top of the lineup due up for the Miners as the Oilers just avenged the one run they gave up in the bottom of the fourth with a run of their own in the fifth inning. So they now lead the Miners 3-2. Van Blake, Henson, and Quiggle due up. Mentioned the 1, 2, and 3 batters for the Miners. So tonight, the Oilers have scored 3 runs on 7 hits. The Miners scoring 2 runs on 6 hits. So that's back-to-back nights now that the Miners have had 5 or more hits. As Caleb Van Blake, rather the third night in a row the Miners have had 5 or more hits. So Caleb Van Blake, he is 1 for 2 tonight, and a 10-game hit streak now thanks to that double back in the first inning. So Mike Lopez is still on the mound for the Oilers, on for his 5th inning of work. So working from the windup against the left-handed hitting Van Blake. His first pitch in the home half of the 5th inning. That nails the outside part of the plate for strike 1. So Van Blake now 10 hits against the Oilers. So 10 out of his 19 have been against the Peninsula Oilers. He flares one up to the left side, moving over quickly and making the sliding grab is Grant Wood for out number 1. Excellent defensive play there from the Oilers' third baseman, as he makes the catch on the warning track as rocks spiral up. And that's going to bring up Spencer Henson with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning, as he was intentionally walked back in the first inning and then grounded out in the 3rd. But Henson had that big 2-run home run in the top of the 9th to give the Miners the lead. Fortunately, the Pilots ended up coming back in the bottom of the 9th, but Henson did show some clutch ability. So he looks at a ball blowing into the right-handed hitting Henson. Henson does have 11 RBIs against this Oilers squad, as the 1-0 pitch nails that lower outside corner 1-1. Last night we did see the benches clear after that Henson home run. Then a pitch high and in to Caleb Van Blake. So this 1-1 fastball hits that lower outside corner yet again. Mike Lopez doing a nice job of spotting that pitch. So Spencer Henson will have to protect now, as the count is at 1-2.
And Cook doing a nice job bringing that ball up and into the strike zone as well. Good job from the catcher.
1-2 pitch. Henson swinging at it, lifts it in the air to left. Novus, after taking a few steps back, sprints in to make the catch for out number 2. So Kona Quiggle will step to the dish with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Miners trail the Oilers 3-2. Lopez yet again having a nice performance for the Oilers, but the Miners are definitely within range, only down 1. So from the line, Lopez's first pitch to Kona Quiggle. A fastball that misses low, 1-0. Kona 1 for 2 tonight. Now a 5-game hit streak. So Lopez is 1-0. Misses just outside 2-0 as this Miners lineup the past 5 games, batting .245 with 21 runs get brought across. So not good, just not great. It's the 2-0. This nails the inside corner for strike 1 to the left-handed hitting Kona Quiggle. Going with the shorter pant and sock displayed look. So we normally see him with the longer pant. This 2-1 is hit in between first and second. Berkey moves over and will not be able to make the play. He did get the ball, but he almost did a somersault right there. And Kona Quiggle is on with an infield single to keep the bottom of the 5th inning going.
It wasn't a hard hit ball from Kona Quiggle, but it did a job. Found a spot that the second baseman Berkey couldn't get to it, and just Quiggle gets on base yet again.
Anytime you can hit a slow rolling ground ball, not in the vicinity of an infielder, it's going to be a tough play no matter what. So Aaron Walters steps to the dish from the left side. He's reached twice tonight. Back in the 4th inning, had a single, but was retired. So runner on first for the Miners as Lopez works out of the stretch for the 3rd time tonight. He misses outside with the fastball, 1-0. Walters is dangerous with runners on against the Oilers. Has brought across 10 RBIs, as that accounts for well over half of his RBI count against the Oilers, 10 of 13. So the 1-0 into Walters. He's swinging, lines it right up the middle, just gets across the outstretched glove of Bryce Begel. And the Miners now have runners on first and second with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yet again, another nice single for the Miners. We haven't seen a lot of extra base hits, just a lot of nice line drive singles.
And another hit for Aaron Walters against the Oilers. I don't know what it is against this team, but he really sees their pitching well. Walters just doing a nice job.
That is his 16th hit, so he is 16 of 33, just shy of 500 against the Peninsula Oilers. And a man that they really do not want to see right now is going to step up to the dish, and Nick Brooks has now a 5-game hit streak, going 1 for 2 tonight, but has reached both times and has brought across 3 RBIs last night, had a home run as well. So Lopez has to be careful in pitching to Nick Brooks.
And for the Miners' mindset, the Oilers, they scored 1 in the top half. Now it's time for the Miners to fight back and score 1 or more of their own.
So the Oilers did bring across a run in the top of the 5th. As we're in the bottom of the 5th, Miners trailing 3-2, but they have that 3rd run standing on 2nd and a go-ahead run on 1st. Brooks steps in from the right side of the dish, facing the right-hander Lopez, who works from the stretch. He'll take a peek at 2nd. Now he'll motion to the plate. As Brooks just fouls it off, it actually hit off of his foot. He does wear that left sort of foot padding and shin pad, but it seems like it hit one of the exposed parts of that foot. He'll walk it off, though, and be ready to step back in the batter's box. Rather, he taps his right ankle. That's what it seemed like it hit. So still kind of tending to it, but he stands in, and he'll have a 0-1 count. So we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Oilers leading the Miners 3-2, but they have 2 runners on. Brooks well in front of an off-speed pitch from Mike Lopez. He's now ahead in the count, 0-2.
Brooks just has to shorten up his swing and make contact, put the ball in play. You never know what can happen.
Exactly. You just want to put the ball in play. The Oilers only with 36 errors this season, but a hefty amount throughout their infield. So Lopez's 0-2 pitch into Nick Brooks is fouled off behind us here in the press box. So Brooks on that one, just got the barrel of the bat just beneath the ball. But he stays alive at 0-2. As Walters steps on, or is on first, Koenig-Quiggle on second. Back-to-back singles for both of them. So Brooks taps home plate, swings the bat out in front of him, and now sits in his stance. And Lopez ahead in the count, 0-2, delivers a 2-seamer that missed high, 1-2.
2-seam had a lot of movement, just missed outside and a little high.
That started high, and Nick Brooks doing a nice job of laying that one off. Because anytime you see a fastball that's high, especially to a big hitter, they normally will try to chase it, but excellent plate discipline. Miners do lead the season series 5-4 as the Oilers look to tie it up tonight, but the Miners want to increase it 6-4 and also increase their lead to 3 games as they have lost 2 in a row. But the Oilers have won 4 of 6 due to their pitching. Lopez looks to deliver right now. His 1-2. Thought about by Nick Brooks, and an excellent stop as Cook had to shift over to his right and then throw the body in front of it. We have a 2-2 count now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. As the Oilers are second, or rather only 4th in the league in strikeouts with 225. The Miners have struck out the 2nd least out of any ball club in the ABL. The Lopez's 2-2 offering. This is a 2-seamer that misses low. It was a bit higher. It may have been strike 3 on the outside corner, but Nick Brooks has now worked a full count with 2 outs. Runners on first and second. The Miners trail 3-2. So the tying on second, go ahead on first. Lopez gets the sign. His payoff pitch is on the way. And misses outside, and the Miners have bases loaded now for Josh Hatcher. Nick Brooks, after falling behind 0-2, fouls a few off, looks at a few balls, and now is standing on first. Excellent at-bat there from Brooksy.
Great at-bat. You know, like you said, behind in the count 0-2, and to be able to foul a couple off and be able to work that to a walk, just a tremendous job for him.
So Brooks on with a walk, and Josh Hatcher will step in from the left side. Had a hit in his last at-bat. Looks for another big hit right now as he takes a ball outside, 1-0. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning. Miners trying to tie this thing up at 3 as the Oilers scored 1 in the visiting half of this 5th inning. So Lopez's 1-0 pitch. Hatcher swinging, but skies it high in the air into shallow left field. Bryce Begelt calling everybody off, and he'll make the grab for out number 3. So the Miners do load the bases, but with 2 outs, Josh Hatcher flies out to end the 5th inning. So Mike Lopez works his way out of it. Oilers lead the Miners 3-2. We'll have the 6th inning for you when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Sixth inning between the Oilers and the Miners. The Oilers have the advantage currently, 3-2 over the Miners, but the Miners right now hold the advantage in the ABL standings by 2 games. Miners, we mentioned, have an opportunity to tie at the top in the ABL over these next 2 games against the Miners. But if the Miners win tonight, they eliminate any chance of that and will also clinch the season series at 6-4 as it currently sits at 5-4. Wood, Berkey, and Novus due up for the Oilers as Ian Churchill on for his 6th inning of work. So the left-handed thrower looks in his first pitch of this 6th inning. This is low and in to Grant Wood. Wood with a single in the 2nd inning and then was thrown out trying to go home by Danny Wright and then grounded into a 5-3 putout in the 3rd inning. The 1-0 pitch flared out into right, but that's going to go out of play just over the head of the Matsu Miners bullpen. So the count is now 1-1. The Oilers were threatening in the last inning, but Ian Churchill worked his way out of it. Or rather, the Oilers did put on a run in the last inning to get a 3-2 lead. So Churchill's 1-1, a nice breaking pitch that hits the inside portion of the plate, 1-2. So there is some action in the Oilers' pen. Everyone's still down in the Miners' pen. 1-2 from Churchill. That misses outside. Count goes to 2-2. So the Miners supporting the green jerseys tonight with yellow lettering and numbering with white trim in the white pants and green socks. As Churchill's 2-2 pitch, a fastball that nails the outside corner. Brad Polk rings up Grant Wood for out number 1. Ian Churchill now 5 strikeouts tonight against the Oilers.
Just a nice strikeout for Churchill there. Count tied up at 2, and just to paint the outside corner and get him looking was a great pitch.
30 strikeouts on the season for Ian Churchill as we have 1 down now in the top of the 6th inning. This first pitch into Evan Berkey is fouled straight back into the fence. So 0-1. Berkey reached on a walk in the 2nd inning and then grounded out back in the 4th. So Churchill, a long look in, now is ready to deliver this 0-1 pitch, but it's looked at as it misses high to Evan Berkey, batting from the right side of the dish. Berkey now 3 of 22 against the Miners this season, and only 1 hit in his past 17 at-bats. Churchill's 1-1 is a 2-hopper to Drew Swift, who swallows it up and throws over to first in time for out number 2. So 2 in a row now. Ian Churchill is set down as Ryan Novus steps up to the dish. He is 1 for 2 tonight. Had an RBI back in the 2nd inning. His 2nd now in 2 games. So he'll step in from the right side after striking out in his last at-bat in the 4th. 2 outs, top of the 6th. Oilers lead the Miners 3-2. Churchill looking in, winds and deals. His first pitch. Novus went around, said Brad Polk, who's the man calling the balls and strikes tonight. Oilers have been struggling of recent, we mentioned, from the plate, and overall in the season, only batting .202 with a .290 on-base percentage. Both of those sit in the basement of the ABL, but they've been really carried by their pitching, who's been good of recent. Now on the season is third at .346. But it's interesting, the Oilers bring across the third most runs at 128, so still find a way to drive runs in. As the 0-1 is a fastball that nails the outside corner. Novus is now down in the count, 0-2. Ryan Novus got his first hit in 14 at-bats back in the second inning. So now is 1 out of his last 15. But Churchill trying to end the top of this sixth inning, but he'll miss outside. The count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the top of the sixth. Ryan Novus at the dish from the right side. He's down in the count 1-2 to Ian Churchill. Churchill kicks and deals. This one grounded down the third base line. Bozzetti ranges over, makes the nice backhand, but it was foul. So the count will sit at 1-2 to Ryan Novus.
A close play on the foul line along the third base line. A good eyes from Josh Nolan, third base umpire, to call it foul. Bozzetti was ready either way, though.
Ryan Novus does rock that mustache, has gotten the nickname Luigi. But Churchill trying to retire him. His 1-2 pitch will hit Novus in the middle of the bat as Churchill clearly frustrated with himself after he was ahead in the count 1-2 as he hits Ryan Novus. Yet another runner on. For the first runner on this inning, multiple have reached for the Oilers tonight. That brings up Calvin Ferris batting from the left side of the dish. So we'd have to assume that Mike Lopez's night will be over, as it seems there is a right-hander that's been up and warming up for a while now in the Oilers' pen. As there's 2 outs now in the top of the sixth inning. Runner on first for the Oilers. Calvin Ferris skies one into the left side in foul territory. Moving in is Tyler Bozzetti, and he makes the catch just in front of that Oilers dugout. So Ian Churchill does hit a batter, but the Oilers will leave him stranded. They still hold a 3-2 lead over the Mat-Su Miners, who come up to the plate in the bottom of the sixth inning when we return on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else, childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Hear the cheering, and they are the Miners faithful cheering on the Miners bullpen, otherwise known as the Electric Factory, showing off their best dance moves right now as we enter the home half of the sixth inning. The Miners will have to come back against a new thrower, right-handed pitcher from San Diego State, Trey Brown. Brown has appeared in 11 games, has a 1.80 ERA, has 20 innings pitched, 1 save, 18 strikeouts, and has walked 6. So this will be the 5th time that Trey Brown has seen the Miners. And in 8.1 innings pitched, has only allowed 1 run to this minor squad. So his first pitch into Danny Wright is a ball 1-0. So he comes in for Mike Lopez, who goes 5 innings pitched, allowed 8 hits, 2 runs, all earned, and only 1 walk. So yet again, the Miners get some runs against Mike Lopez as Danny Wright hits a warm burner over to second. Taking a few steps over and making the play is Evan Berkey for out number 1. So I mentioned Mike Lopez has only allowed runs against 2 teams, and in 2 times, the Miners have been the team in both of those outings. So 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th inning as the Oilers lead 3-2. So Lopez would be the winning pitcher on record, but the Miners trying to change that as they have a couple relievers warming up in the bullpen. No throwing, just some calisthenics. So Brown, who always works from the stretch, misses outside 1-0.
That was a good word, calisthenics.
Thank you. Try to use more than 2 syllables more often than not when I can. So Brown's 1-0 pitch on the way to Drew Swift. Drew Swift fouls it off to the right side and out of play. Swifty is the reason the Miners only down 1, as at the time his RBI single tied the game up at 2. But then the Oilers came back with a run of their own in the 5th. So that is why they currently lead 3-2. So Swift hits it in the air just behind shortstop. Moving back is Bryce Piguel, but Evan Berkey will come all the way over from second base to make the out for out number 2. So in back-to-back innings, the first 2 are retired for the Miners as the 9-batter Tyler Bozetti stands in 0 for 2 tonight. Trey Brown trying to work a perfect first inning of relief. Bozetti, the right-handed hitter out of the University of Nevada, Reno, currently sits 7 of 31 now against the Oilers. First pitch to Bozetti is a fastball in the dirt, 1-0. So Cook had to use the backhand technique to scoop that one up. So Brown from the stretch, his waist. Bozetti lines one into left field. Moving back is Ryan Novus. It's out over his stretch glove. Bozetti around first and heads into second. He'll keep the 6th inning rolling with a 2-out double. Tyler Bozetti with a nice rip right there for his 9th double of the season. So Tyler Bozetti has extended his hit streak to 10 games with that hit currently. So that brings up Caleb Van Blake. He's 1 for 3 tonight after getting a double back in the 1st inning, has flown out twice since. But the tying run is now in scoring position with 2 outs.
Bozetti just loves that inside pitch. He turns on it very well, and he showed the power there with his extra base hit.
So Brown will now toe the rubber, knowing that the tying run is on second base for the Miners. Caleb Van Blake steps to the dish. He does have 3 RBIs against the Oilers this season. I'd like to add 1 more. So Brown's first pitch with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th is on its way to Caleb Van Blake. He misses high and away with a fastball. So we've seen Brown miss a few times now on the first pitch with his fastball. As Connor just mentioned, Tyler Bozetti loving that inside portion of the plate, and it just showed. So Brown's 1-0 is now tapped over to the left side, over to third base. Wood originally stepping on third, thinking he had a force out. Then his throw over to first was not handled by Zach Zaleski. So on what was a strange play of events, the Miners now with runners on first and second.
Well, I'm really not sure if Grant Wood was thinking there, as the arrow will go to him. And Wood, the ball was near third. Maybe he wanted to touch the bag before he threw it over. I'm just not sure.
I think he may have thought there was a runner on first for the Miners, as he clearly moved to the third base bag, whether he was trying to step on it or not. And then his throw, Zaleski dropped it. So Van Blake reaches on the air. And now in the 3rd straight inning, the Miners get runners on first and second with 2 outs. So Spencer Henson stands in. He pops one foul and out of play to the right side, 0-1. So after it looked like Trey Brown was going to set down 3 in a row to the Miners, they've now put 2 on. They trail 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning, as Spencer Henson, the top RBI man in the ABL, steps to the dish. with that tying run only 180 feet away. So Brown from the stretch, a long look in. Now he'll take a look at second in motion to the plate. That was high and inside. Henson had to duck out of the way of that one. Count is now 1-1.
And that high and inside pitch had a different meaning than yesterday's high and inside pitch to Caleb Van Blake. Yesterday's was more of a statement. This one was more of a mistake.
Yes, definitely a mistake, as Trey Brown has no reason to throw at Spencer Henson. So he comes set. His 1-1 pitch is on the way. Misses well inside again, so Henson had to stretch out the arms and then move back, so that'll cause a mound visit from Ryan Cook. Trey Brown really hasn't been locating that fastball all too well in this appearance.
No, he's overthrowing it. He's overthinking it. He's just missing inside with the ball, whether it's high or inside. Just fastball locations just not there.
And if you are going to miss with a fastball, I'd rather be out of the zone, especially Spencer Henson leads the league in home runs with 6, had one last night, as he's 0 for 2 tonight, however, but did reach in the first inning on an intentional walk. So Brown's 2-1 to Spencer Henson. He once again fouls it over to the right side and out of play. So the count is now tied up at 2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Miners trying to tie this thing up at 3 before we head into the 7th, as there's still no one up in the Miners' pen. So it seems like Ian Churchill will head on for the 7th inning. So Brown takes a look at Tyler Bozzetti at second, now motions to the plate. Yet another pitch that misses high around Spencer Henson's head. Henson was not happy about it, but you would have to imagine Trey Brown is not intentionally missing.
No, like we said, it's a mistake. Why would you want to throw high and inside to Henson? He hasn't done really anything yet this game.
So full count, 2 down. Brown's payoff pitch. Henson fouls it straight back, so we'll stay at 3-2. Runners will be in motion with 2 outs and a full count. So if Henson can poke anything out there, Van Blake and Bozzetti have speed, there'll be at least 1 run brought in, you would have to imagine, if not 2. Only Bozzetti comes in, the game will be tied at 3. If Van Blake can score all the way from first, the Miners will take the lead. Brown's payoff pitch. Henson swinging at it, a drive into left field. Moving back, it's going to hit the wall. Tyler Bozzetti will score from second, on his horse all the way from third, trying to score. The relay throw is not in time. It'll go all the way to the Miners' dugout, and Spencer Henson will move into third base. Yet again, Henson delivers big time for the Mat-Su Miners. They now lead the Oilers 4-3.
1,063 fans in attendance here at Harmon Brothers Field. All love and know the name, Spencer Henson. Man, can that guy come up big in big opportunities.
Henson with his 41st hit of the season and his 28th RBI. Both lead the ABL, and now the Miners lead the Oilers 4-2 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Kona Quiggle will try to follow that up as he steps in from the left side. The first pitch to Quiggle misses outside from Trey Brown. So Brown has had command issues, and it showed right there. Spencer Henson all over Trey Brown's pitch.
You don't miss inside to Spencer Henson, and that's what he'll do. He'll make you pay, and he'll drive it deep.
So the 1-0, that's lined right up the middle. Spencer Henson will come in to score. The Mat-Su Miners now lead the Peninsula Oilers 5-3. And is what really is a bounce-back game for the Miners. They're starting to prove they're playing with a chip on their shoulder, as they have scored 5 runs now on 11 hits. So you got to love it for the Miners. It's been 2 tough games in a row, especially last night, the walk-off. But ever since that first pitch, Connor, they've been playing with fire.
This has just been fun to watch the Miners break out here. It's a 2-out rally in the Valley, something that they've really been needing as of late.
So Brown's first pitch to Walters. This misses high, 1-0. So Brown's still struggling to find some command, as there is a pitcher up in the Oilers' pen. It seems like he's waiting on a bullpen catcher, as there's still no one up in the Miners' pen. So Kona Quiggle stands on first. He just had an RBI single, as Aaron Walters turns on one, but it is towered into the middle of the infield. All the infield moving in for the Miners in the Oilers, but Zach Zaleski will make the catch on the pitcher's mound. but not before the Matsu Miners bring across 3 runs, 2 RBIs by Kona Quiggle, or rather Spencer Henson, 1 by Kona Quiggle. Miners now lead the Oilers 5-3, and for the final 3 innings, toss it back over to my partner, Connor Mills. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad, an Operation Lifesaver, would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Top of the 7th inning, and Spencer Henson, the voice you just heard, gave the Matsu Miners a 4-3 lead before Kona Quiggle hit him in. It's the Miners 5, the Peninsula Oilers 3, as we are in the top of the 7th inning. Ian Churchill still on the mound for the Miners, as the first pitch is taken in for a strike to Bryce Bigell. Bigell today is 2 for 2. Had a single in the 2nd inning and a double, came around to score in the 5th. 0-1 the count from Churchill to Bigell. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2, and actually fouled that one off, just got a piece of it. Couldn't hear the foul ball on the mic, but 0-2 the count. Bottom of the 6th inning, an error and some defensive mishaps from the Oilers allowed the Miners to score 3 runs, all of them coming unearned as the pitch is fouled off by Bigell from Churchill. 0-2 the count remains. Miners got Tyler Bassetti on base. He was followed up by Caleb Van Blake on a mental mishap by the third baseman Grant Wood. And then Spencer Henson made him pay as the 0-2 from Churchill swung on and fouled straight back again. 0-2. Henson turned on an inside pitch, took it deep out into left. It was almost down as it one-hopped the bottom of the fence. Stayed in play, and Henson was able to get to third base. Kona Quiggle, the next man up, drove him in with an RBI single as this one is flared in foul territory along the right side. Josh Hatcher giving chase, but he'll run into the bullpen and Bryce Tossan. Tossan, a little rough outing yesterday, but when talking to manager Ben Taylor, he owned it. He knew what he did wrong, and he will be ready to face that adversity when that situation arises again. The 0-2, taken low in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. No runs were earned against Bryce Tossan in yesterday's game. An error allowed the inning to continue as 1-2 count to Bryce Bigell is on the way. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Ian Churchill, his 6th strikeout of the day, his 31st of the season. First out has been recorded here in the top of the 7th inning with the Miners above the Oilers 5-3. Churchill now pitching into Tyler Duke, who swings and fouls one right back, and that found a hole somewhere in the press box. Waking up our public address announcer, Wolfgang Winter, who is always awake and doing a great job every home game. 0-1 the count. Churchill the pitch. Swung on a little liner that went on the ground to Drew Swift. The throw in time for the second out. Ball one hop in the Swift. He was able to get it with the strong arm he has. 2 outs recorded here in the top of the 7th inning. And now the top of the lineup for the Oilers, Zach Zaleski. Zaleski today is 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch in the 5th, struck out in the 1st, and grounded out to short in the 3rd. Zaleski, a lefty-on-lefty matchup. First pitch hits the outside corner for strike 1. Churchill from the windup, infield playing back, outfield straight away. The pitch in, the 0-1 taken again for a called strike. Churchill's ahead. No balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Miners up 5-3. Miners 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Oilers 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error. The 0-2 taken just a bit outside. 1-2 the count. Churchill almost gets his 7th strikeout, but no cigar, as a 1-2 is now on the way. Swung on, and this one's popped up out into center field. Ranging into right center field is Kona Quiggle, who makes a one-hand grab. A 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 7th inning. Ian Churchill doing a nice job keeping the Oilers off the board. It's the Miners 3, the Oilers, or the Miners 5, the Oilers 3, as we enter into the bottom of the 7th inning. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio.
Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad, an Operation Lifesaver, would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Baseball.
Leading things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning will be right fielder Nick Brooks. Walters ended the 6th with a fly out to third or first base. I was more along the third base side as there was a huddle out on the mound about who was going to catch it. First baseman Zach Zaleski made the call. So Nick Brooks, who is 1 for 2 today, had a single in the 1st, a fielder's choice in the 4th, and then walked in the 5th. Trey Brown came in the bottom of the 6th. He allowed 3 runs, but none of them were earned. An error by the third baseman Grant Wood allowed all 3 runs to be scored. It's the Miners 5, the Oilers 3. First pitch from Brown into Nick Brooks is high for ball 1.
Brown just really struggling on first pitches against the Miners. It's mostly with that fastball. Normally, he's really dialed in with it, but today, not so much.
1-0 the count. Pitch in. Swung on and fouled off by Nick Brooks. That goes straight over the press box and over near the beer shack. 1-1 the count. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning. Miners 5, Oilers 3. Nick Brooks just keeps on producing for the Miners. Adds another hit, his 6th of the season, as this one is in for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Nick Brooks looking to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And Brooksy didn't have a hit in that last inning, but a nice at-bat that led into a walk.
The 1-2 from Brown swung on and found straight down into the dirt. Didn't go too far away from the catcher, Cook. 1-2, the count remains.
That was vital as it loaded the bases, put a lot of pressure on Brown. Or rather,
so for the count 1-2, nobody out. Pitch into Brooks, taken high and inside for ball 2. The Miners so far on the season, they are 5-4 against the Oilers, as we've mentioned. A chance to go 6-4 and clinch the season series, as the 2-2 is swung on, drive right into the glove of the shortstop, Bryce Miguel. Nick Brooks hit it hard, but right at the shortstop. He didn't have to move. A hard out for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th.
And once again, Brooksy gets robbed of a hit. Just real unfortunate.
It almost seems like there's something behind every ball that Brooks hits. It's line drive after line drive. Whether it gets down for a base hit is time to time, but man, he hits it hard. First pitch into Hatcher, swung on, and a dribbler over towards second base. Charging hard is Evan Berkey, who throws to first in time. 1 pitch, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Miners up 5-3.
Now batting your left fielder, number 7, Danny Wright.
Brooks retired. Hatcher retired. Danny Wright looking for his first hit of the day. 0 for 3. Flew out to center field, got on with a fielder's choice in the 4th, and then grounded out to second base in the 6th inning. He was the first out in the 6th before the Miners scored 3. Pitch in, swung on and fouled off left side and out of play. 0-1 the count to Danny Wright.
As there's men up in both bullpens now.
Swinging and grounding out to second base. Evan Berkey has it, throws it in time. 3 outs have been recorded in the bottom of the 7th, but the Mat-Su Miners still lead the Peninsula Oilers 5-3. We'll see if there's a new pitcher or not as we enter the top of the 8th inning. It's the Miners 5, the Oilers 3. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio.
Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad, an Operation Lifesaver, would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
Miners 5, Oilers 3. New man on the mound for the first time in 7 innings. It's the top of the 8th inning. Malachi Emmond coming in relief of Ian Churchill, who went 7 innings, allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, walked 1, and struck out 6. He will be in line should everything stay the same for his 5th victory. Malachi Emmond, it's his birthday today. We wished him a happy birthday earlier on. We'll wish him again a happy birthday to Malachi Emmond, turning 21 today. The 21-year-old out of Coventry, Connecticut, 215 pounds, 6'3", out of the University of New Mexico, where he was a junior. A 2.51 ERA on the season, coming in relief appearances 12 times. Has pitched 14 1/3 of an inning, 25 strikeouts to 11 walks, and has allowed 10 hits. His last outing came against the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks on the 16th, just 2 days ago. As we're ready to get things started, Chad Bible at the plate. First pitch here on the top of the 8th is a slider taken inside for a called strike. Malachi already feeling good. 0-1 the count.
expect a heavy dose of strikes from Malachi Emmond, a big strikeout guy.
0-1 to Chad Bible, who is 1 for 3 on the day. The pitch, another slider. This one might have missed a little high. 1-1 the count. Malachi against the Chinooks went 1 2/3 of an inning, allowed 2 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts, and 8 batters faced. So he's looking to continue the scoreless streak here as Chad Bible swings through a fastball. 1-2 the count. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning, with the Miners leading the Oilers 5-3.
Malachi has been a vital part to the success of this Mat-Su Miners bullpen, has produced, for the most part, very well in late game situations, and they look for him to do the same today.
1-2 is the count. Malachi pitching from the stretch. He deals, swinging in, grounding a ball over into the hole. Spinning is Tyler Bassetti. The throw on line. Nice job, Tyler Bassetti. The shortstop converted third baseman, and you'd think he's been playing there all his life. Tyler Bassetti, what a play.
Yeah, you really would. He made that look so effortless and very easy. You would think that the throw may be a little offline because he was spinning. Nope, right on the money.
Just a tremendous job from Tyler Bassetti, as that's the first out here on the top of the 8th inning. Now at the plate, Ryan Cook. First pitch into him is taken high for ball 1. Cook on the day has 1 hit in 3 at-bats. He's 1 for 3, struck out once, batting .257 on the season. Emmond from the stretch, he deals. A breaking ball that hits the zone, 1-1. Almost looked like a little curveball from Malachi.
Yeah, a great breaking pitch there from Malachi. He has that working for the most part. That's his go-to pitch. When he needs to get a guy out, that's what he throws.
1-1 the count. Malachi's pitch. A slider that hits the zone again. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. Nobody on base. Infield playing back, outfield straight away. Nathan Bach standing on the mound in the Miners bullpen should anything go awry here, as the 1-2 swung on a miss, strike 3. Malachi Emmond gets another one as he adds to the list. 26 strikeouts on the season, his first today.
Yeah, an interesting pitch to swing out there from Ryan Cook is a pure fastball that started well outside and just kind of stayed that way, but Cook was very fooled, maybe expecting a curve.
Malachi 1 out away from a perfect 8th inning here, as he looks to preserve a 5-3 lead for the Mat-Su Miners, who are begging to get out of the loss column. 2 losses in a row and looking for a win. Malachi's fastball misses low and away into Grant Wood. Wood today, he had a hit in the second, was thrown out at the plate by Danny Wright. A good outfield assist from him. Grounded out to third and also struck out looking. In his 3 trips, this is the 4th plate appearance. As now 2 balls and no strikes, Malachi missing low and away into Grant Wood. Wood does not have a home run on the season, though he does have 8 extra base hits. 7 doubles and a triple. 2-0. Taken on the outside corner for a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike from Malachi Emmond into Grant Wood. Should Wood extend the inning, Evan Berkey is on deck. From the stretch, Malachi is ready. And the pitch, a breaking ball that nipped the jersey. Another hit by pitch. Malachi just kind of nods his head. No worry in his face, as the recent 21-year-olds will now have to deal with the runner on base. 2 outs here on the top of the 8th inning. Grant Wood on with a hit by pitch. The 3rd batter hit by pitch from the Miners to the Oilers.
Yeah, just real tough situation there for Malachi, but he'll shake it off. Really has no fear out there on the mound, especially with that runner on first.
Evan Berkey now does reach the plate, as first pitch into him is a slider taken for a called strike, 0-1. Berkey today, he's 0 for 2, had a walk in the second, came around to score. Also has a ground out to third and a ground out to short. 2 people that you wouldn't want to have a ground out to in Bassetti and Swift. The 0-1 was a bunt attempt, not sure what he was doing. Pulled it back, but it's for a strike. Might have tried to catch Bassetti sleeping at third base as he's playing deep back at third, but nonetheless,
Yeah,
Evan Berkey's behind in the count 0-2.
That was a breaking ball, so it would have been a tough pitch to bunt. So Berkey maybe pulled back, knowing it was a strike, but didn't want to bunt it.
The 0-2. Checked his swing, but it's in there. A strike 3 call. Malachi Emmon, 2 strikeouts in this inning, as it's a scoreless top of the 8th for the Oilers. Matsu Miners come to the plate in the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Matsu up 5-3.
Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Bottom of the 8th inning here at Harmon Brothers Field in Palmer, Alaska. A good one in front of 1,063 fans in attendance. Miners lead the Oilers 5-3. The starter for the Oilers, Mike Lopez, who went 5 innings, was relieved by Trey Brown. That's where most of the runs came off of, but all were unearned. Brown goes 2, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, none earned, no walks, and no strikeouts. Andrew Lopez out of Chico State, the brother of the starter, Mike Lopez, coming in relief here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He will face Drew Swift, Tyler Bassetti, and Caleb Van Blake. Those are the batters due up for the Miners as we're about ready to start the bottom of the 8th. First pitch in is high and in for ball 1. Swift today had an RBI single back in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. Also flew out to center field and popped up to second as his second pitch is in for a called strike. 1-1. Lopez on the season has 2 wins as this pitch misses outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count. 2 wins, no losses, a ERA of 1.54. Working fast from the windup. Swift swings and fouls it right side and out of play. 13 relief appearances this season for Lopez. 1 save in 23 1/3 of an inning pitched. 21 strikeouts, 13 walks as Swift stays alive. The 2-2 count. He fouled one off right side out of play again.
Lopez has been a sure-handed reliever for the Oilers this season, but the Miners did get to a sure-handed guy in Trey Brown, so interesting to see what they do here.
2-2 is grounded over towards the left side and misplayed by the shortstop, Bryce Bigell. That ball took a funky hop, or maybe it just bounced off his leg. As Bryce Bigell, his 7th error of the season, the leadoff man is on base in Drew Swift. And E6 to start things off here on the bottom of the 8th inning. And a quick glance over into the Miners bullpen. The ABL saves leader Bryce Tossan, who was in yesterday's game, is warming up again. Has now Tyler Bassetti out the plate.
You got to be careful. Swift out there. A lot of speed for the Miners.
Tyler Bassetti lays down a bunt. It's a slow roller right back to Andrew Lopez. A little bit of a high throw, but the second baseman, Evan Berkey, was there to corral it in. A sacrifice bunt for Tyler Bassetti. Drew Swift goes from first to second. A runner in scoring position for the top of the lineup for the Matsu Miners. Caleb Van Blake and Spencer Henson will now be due up.
Excellent bunt there from Tyler Bassetti did his job, got Swift in scoring position. It did suffer an out, but Swift is fast enough that if a hit drops here, he will most likely have a chance to score.
Swift on second base. Van Blake at the plate. Caleb today had a double back in the first inning, came around to score. Also flew out to right field, popped up to third base as the first pitch almost hits Van Blake inside for ball one. Van Blake also reached base in the sixth inning on an E5. So Wood has 4 errors on the day, and not on the day, but on the season. And Bigel now has 7 errors on the season. Second pitch on the way, swinging and lining this one out into left field. That one will fall for a base hit. Drew Swift had a hold at second. Now he's got it. He's in a rundown situation. Swift overran third base. The ball was in left field. Swift rounding third, and the throw went right back to third. Ryan Novus very aware of the situation as Grant Wood was able to run him down and tag him. A base running mishap for Drew Swift here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 outs are now recorded and a single for Caleb Van Blake. Spencer Henson will now look to keep the train moving here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 outs, runner on first. Van Blake with his second hit of the day. Henson looking to get his second hit. Check that. Nope, I was right. Second hit of the day.
Real unfortunate for Swift there. He rounded third, thought about going home, and then when he tried to get back to third, the throw was already there, so was caught in a real bad situation.
2 outs, 1-0 the count to Spencer Henson at the plate. He walked in the first inning. It was an intentional walk. Then he grounded out to third in the third. Flew out to left in the fifth and had a 2 RBI double in the 6th inning. The last pitch from Lopez into Spencer Henson was outside. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning with the runner on first. Lopez ready. Swinging is Henson. He chops it foul. And that one goes near the Oilers' dugout. So instead of runners at the corners, we have 1 runner on base, and Caleb Van Blake, he got on with a single. And Henson at the plate. 2-1 the count. The pitch from Lopez, off speed, taken on the outside corner. Henson didn't like it. He quickly gets out of the box. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Smart move from Henson right there. Take a few steps out of the box, get a deep breath, get your composure, and step back in, ready to hit.
2-2 with 2 away. Andrew Lopez, a pitch into Spencer Henson, who swings at the outside pitch, stays alive as that one flies out of play.
Interesting. Henson without batting gloves right now. I was not noticing if he had them in his last at-bat, but he's having trouble with his hands. So interesting to go without the look.
Hands must be feeling a little better today as the 2-2 swung on, and this one is popped foul. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with the runner at first. Miners up on the Oilers 5-3. For the Matsu Miners, 5 runs on 11 hits. No errors for Matsu as the Oilers, 3 runs, 7 hits, and they have 2 errors of their own. 2-2 the count. Lopez's pitch. Off speed, misses outside. 3-2. Spencer Henson working at the plate.
Yeah, Lopez definitely, if he's going to miss there, it's going to be well outside, nowhere near to Henson.
Henson right now batting .347. Came in today batting .348, just a tick down in the batting average, and he'll look to raise it up here. The 3-2. Outside, ball 4. He doesn't raise his average, but on base will go higher as now runners are on first and second base. With Kona Quiggle, who already has 2 hits on the day, standing in at the plate. Not only does he have 2, but he's got 3, an RBI single in the first. He also singled in the 5th. Went to third base, could not score, and then a RBI in the 6th. 3 for 4. The only time he was recorded out with a fly ball into left field as the first pitch from Lopez misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 away with 2 runners on base. Van Blake at second, Spencer Henson at first. Sandra Lopez is on the mound, and Kona Quiggle, of course, is at the plate. The pitch in, swung on, line drive right up the middle. 4 hits on the day for Conequiggle. Rounding third and heading for home is Caleb Van Blake. The throw is cut off. Zach Zaleski has it and will run Spencer Henson back down to second base, who then tosses it over to Bryce Bigell to tag Spencer Henson, but not before the run scores. Conequiggle, his 3rd RBI on the day. Now the Miners lead 6-3, and the closer, Bryce Tossan, walking out to the mound, will return in the top of the 9th with the Miners leading 6-3. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Conequiggle, outfield infield from Grand Canyon University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Conequiggle, 4 hits in 5 at-bats, 3 RBIs, batting average above 300 at 304. It's the Miners 6, the Peninsula Oilers 3, and 3 outs to get for the Miners closer, Bryce Tossan. Tossan, all runs against him yesterday were unearned. He went 2/3 of an inning, but unfortunately for the Miners, the Pirates walked it off in the bottom of the 9th. We're here in the top of the 9th inning with the Miners leading 6-3. First pitch is swung on and missed. Ryan Novus is at the plate. It will be Ryan Novus, Calvin Ferris, and Bryce Bigell all due up here in the top of the 9th inning. 0-1 is a count from Bryce Tossan into Novus. Swung on and a little grounder over towards first. Underhand toss from Hatcher. Tossan was covering the bag. First out has been recorded here in the top of the 9th. 2 more outs to get for Bryce Tossan.
Tossan showing off the wheels right there. Really got over to first base, and before Hatcher even tossed it, Tossan was covering it much like a normal first baseman was.
And Ryan Novus not really busting out of the box as you'd expect. It's only a 3-run lead, and Bryce looking to get his 8th save of the season. First pitch in is taken inside from Calvin Ferris. 1 ball, no strikes. And for Bryce, although win-loss doesn't matter, it is still a record to keep. 1 win, 3 losses for him, a 1.08 ERA, 15 games as a swing and a miss from Ferris. 1 ball and 1 strike. 15 games, he's come in relief appearances, 7 saves, 16 2/3 of an inning pitched. Make it 17 now with the first out here in the top of the 9th inning. 21 strikeouts to 5 walks and has allowed 13 hits as the second pitch. Third pitch of the at-bat is good for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 away here in the top of the 9th inning. Miners up 6-3, looking to get back into the win column and go 22-14 on the season. Get back to 3 games up on the Oilers. Tossan, the 1-2. Inside, almost hits Ferris. Count evens itself out 2-2.
Tossan looking very confident, seems to shake off last night's performance and is ready to roll tonight. And the Miners will need him to hold off the Oilers.
Toss in from Walker, Louisiana, 6'2", 212 pounds from southeastern Louisiana. Swing and a foul ball straight back. Josh Haley will pop out of the dugout to retrieve it. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away here in the top of the 9th inning. Calvin Ferris doing a nice job to stay alive. The 2-2 swung on, line drive out into center field. Coming in is Kona Quiggle, who makes a one-hand grab. 2 outs, top of the 9th. Calvin Ferris is retired, and now Bryce Bigell, the last line for the Oilers. And it looks like we will see a pinch hitter. This will be number 26.
Pinch hitting for the Oilers. Out of Chula Vista, California, and San Diego State, number 26, Brian Leonhardt.
Looks like Brian Leonhardt will be the pinch hitter here against the Miners as he's first pitch swinging on Bryce Tossan. 0-1 the count. As we take a look across the out-of-town scoreboard, the Bucks lead the Chinooks 1-0. That game is in the top of the 6th inning as the second pitch in, 0-2. Call and strike against Brian Leonhardt. The Oilers down to their final strike. 2 outs, top of the 9th. Bryce Tossan from the windup. He deals. Taken high and inside for ball 1. Ian Churchill would be the winning pitcher on record should Tossan get the save. The 1-2 swung on, a bouncing ball up the middle. Drew Swift ranges over the throw in time. Ball game over. The Mat-Su Miners win this one 6-3. Bryce Tossan with his 8th save, ABL leading save. And the Miners now go 22-14 on the season. The Peninsula Oilers fall to 19-17, 3 games back on the Miners with 1 more to go. The Miners now have clinched the series record as the Miners won 6 games and have lost 4. That could only go to 6-5. As once again, your final, the Miners 6, the Oilers 3. A great game for Ian Churchill, who struggled a little bit early, but was able to go 7 innings, only allowing 7 hits, 3 runs. All were earned, 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. He was able to get through and get the job done for the Miners. Losing pitcher on record will be Trey Brown, who went 2 innings, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, and none of them were earned. So once again, your final, the Miners 6, the Oilers 3. Miners 22-14 on the season, 3 games up on the Oilers. We'll be right back with the post-game show. Manager Ben Taylor and the star of the game. For Brad Walker, this is Connor Mills signing off.